All right, in this video, we're going to show you everything that you need to know about American football. We're going to show you rules. We're going to show you scoring. By the end of this video, you're going to know everything that you need to know about American football. Also, throughout the video, if you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. We'll try to get back to them as best as possible. That way we can help you learn the game a little bit more. Now let's get started. Now, the first thing you need to know about American football is about the football field itself. It is 120 yards long by 53.3 yards wide, okay? I know it's an exact number. When football started in measurements of feet, they then trimmed it down to yards. So we have 120 yards from back of the end zone to the back of the end zone by 53.3 yards wide. Oftentimes you'll hear football fields be called 100 yards. That's because it's from goal line to goal line, measures in at 100 yards. Each end zone is 10 yards, so that's where you get 120 yards. Also, these lines that go down the field, those are what we call hash marks. And hash marks are important because that's where the ball is reset to if the ball goes out of bounds, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But as far as knowing the football field, it's good to know the football field is 100 yards by 53.3 yards wide. And these things that run down the edges of the field are called hash marks. Now let's start to talk about the actual game itself. And the very first thing that happens, no matter if it's the NFL or if it's a youth level, is the coin toss. What happens is both teams will elect captains to go to the center of the field, and the referee will typically ask the away team if they choose heads or tails on the coin. Now, the coin is flipped, and once it's flipped in the air, the away team will say heads or tails. If the away team chooses it correctly, let's say they choose heads and it comes up heads, they will choose whether they want to kick the football first, they want to receive the football first, or they want to defer. Just for the sake of this video, we'll say that the away team chooses to receive the football. That means the other team will kick the football to start the game. And then in the second half, the other team will receive the football, and then the away team will kick the football, so it flips. Now, football is typically played in 4 quarters, meaning they will have 12 to 15-minute quarters, and there's 4 of them, okay? In the NFL, it's going to be 15-minute quarters. Youth leagues and high school leagues will sometimes play 10 or 12-minute quarters, but there is a first quarter, a second quarter, a halftime, a third quarter, and then a fourth quarter, and of course the end of the game. Now, every single game will start with what we call a kickoff. So whoever won the toss and then elected to kick the football will line up. So you're going to see one team that's going to be lined up essentially in a straight line, and then the kicker will be in the middle. On the other side of the field, you'll see the kick return team will be in a special formation, whatever their coaches decide, where they're going to try to return the football. When the kicker's ready, he'll kick the football off to the other team. The kick return team will then try to return the ball for a touchdown. Now, more often than not, it's very hard to score a touchdown on kick return. So what you'll see is that player be tackled. Now, once that player is tackled and the referee blows the whistle for the play to be over, the offense will then come on the field, and then the defense will come on the field. Now, one thing that you often see when you're watching a football game on TV is you'll see 1st and 10. Now, what does 1st and 10 mean? 1st and 10 means that the offense has 4 chances to get 10 yards, okay? So when you hear first down, second down, third down, or fourth down, you can relate those to chances, okay? So first down means this is your first chance to get 10 yards. Second down means this is your second chance to get 10 yards. The whole basis of football is to move the ball past 10 yards to get a new set of downs, okay, or a new set of chances. So first down, second down, third down, fourth down. So let's say the offense comes out for their first play and they gain 11 yards, okay? It will automatically start on 1st and 10. Offense comes out and gets 11 yards. That means the chains, okay, the 10-yard markers will then move another 10 yards. Let's say they gain another 11 yards. They're going to move another 10 yards. And this happens all the way down the field until a team scores a touchdown. But the best way to think of it is chances. So first chance, second chance, third chance, and then your fourth and final chance to get 10 yards. And if you don't do it, you'll turn the ball over to the other team. But the offense's main goal is to try to score a touchdown, okay? And the scoring in football looks like this. If you score a touchdown, it is worth 6 points. All a player has to do in order to score a touchdown is to cross what we call the goal line. So what you'll see is the numbers on the field go from 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and then you'll see a thick, solid white line. Players need to cross this line with the football, or the football itself needs to cross the line when they have possession of it in order for a touchdown to happen. Now, there's 2 ways that the offense can move the football. They can either run the football or they can throw the football through the air. Running the football is obviously more safe because it's a simple handoff from the quarterback to the running back, and then he's going to try to gain as many yards as he possibly can. The other way is by throwing the football through the air. Now, this is more common in today's football just because offensive coaches have gotten so smart and is able to devise schemes to get their best players in space and get the football. So offenses will use running as well as passing in order to try to get past that 10-yard mark. That way they can get a new set of downs and keep moving the football down the field. And you'll know a touchdown happens when the referee puts his hands up in the air just like this, signaling that is a touchdown for the offense. Now, once a touchdown is scored, teams have two options. They can kick a field goal for 1 extra point, or they could run another play for 2 extra points. When you're watching football in the NFL or in college, 99% of the time, you'll see a team line up to kick a field goal for 1 point just because it's more safer to do so. And those kickers are a lot more talented than they are at the youth and high school level. So a touchdown being worth 6 points, teams will then tack on 1 extra point, and that's where you get 7 points from. Or if they go for 2 points, that's where you'll get 8 points from. But scoring a touchdown is the most effective way to win football games because you get that 6 points. Now, let's say the offense gets the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line and doesn't score, okay? It's 4th down. So in order to try to run another play, what they're going to do is kick a field goal from the 20-yard line. If the team successfully makes this field goal, it's worth 3 points. So the difference is if they score after a touchdown, it's only worth 1 point. However, if they try to kick a field goal before they score a touchdown, it's going to be worth 3 points. So those are the way the offense can score. Now, there are 2 ways that the defense can score. They can take the football away from the offense, whether they rip it out of the player's hand or if they intercept it by catching it, they can also score a touchdown. Or if they get a safety. Now, we went into more detail what a safety is in this video here. It's a little bit complicated, so we recommend you check that video out. But essentially, those are the 2 ways for the defense to score points. But all in all, the defense's main job is to keep the offense from scoring any points whatsoever. Now, let's say 1st down, they run the football and they gain 1 yard. Okay, so it's 2nd and 9. Let's say they run the football again and they only get 2 yards. So now it's 3rd and 7. So now the offense has to decide, do I want to throw the football or run the football again? So let's say they run the football again and gain no yards, okay? So now it's 4th and 7. What teams will do now is they can either run another play, but if they don't get that 7 yards, that means the ball is turned over to the other team. The other team's offense comes on the field, and then that team that turned the ball over to defense comes on the field. Now, what a lot of teams will choose to do if they're far away from kicking a field goal is they'll bring on what we call a punt team. And now what a punt team is essentially what the offense is doing is going to bring on their kicker. And they're going to hold the football and try to kick it out of their hands, which we call a punt. The punt's going to go through the air to the punt return team. This is a way for the offense to essentially change field position. That way they can get the football out of their zone, hopefully to the other team's zone, and then they can play good defense and hopefully get the ball back. So this is what football primarily is offense is trying to move the ball 10 yards till they eventually score a touchdown. Or if they can't move it on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, what you'll often see is they will punt the football on 4th down if there's no chance of kicking a field goal. Now, throughout the entire game, you're going to see referees throw these yellow flags on the field. And what these yellow flags mean is essentially it's a penalty on the offense or the defense. And football has a ton of rules, and this is where things can get a little bit complicated if you're new to the game or you're a beginner to the game. What we did was in the description below, you'll find a blog that we wrote that has all the penalties in the game. We highly recommend you check that out. It will give you a better idea of what all these penalties mean. But essentially what rule officials in football have done is made the game safer, but you can't tackle by the face mask. You can't hold on offense. There's a bunch of rules that play into keeping the offense honest by not getting any advantages and keeping the defense clean. That way you're not having guys getting thrown around by the face mask or dirty hits happening and so on and so forth. So we highly recommend you go check that blog out. Now, at the end of 4 quarters, whoever has the highest score in this game will eventually win the football game. And that's it. After the game's over, teams will usually line up at the 50-yard line and shake hands. And then that's the game. And that's over. So again, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below. We're happy to help out. But we hope this short video gave you a beginner's guide in learning the game of football. It can be complicated. It can be overwhelming at times. But as long as you understand the kickoff, the kick return, offense trying to score, defense trying to defend, and then punt return to change field positions, that's going to help you out a lot more in understanding the game. Be sure to check out these other videos here that's going to help you learn from a beginner perspective the game of football. And as always, if you have questions, let us know.